Hi everyone, it's me again. This time I will need a help of my husband Diego to make an interview with me. The purpose of this is so you know a little bit more about me. Let's start, Diego.
Where are you from?
I'm from Slovenia.
Describe Slovenia.
It's a small, beautiful, young country. For those that don't know, our neighbors are Italy, Austria, Hungary, and Croatia. And if I had to use a color to describe my country, I would say green because it's a very green country. We have a lot of forests still and grass, and I would say that people also have green hobbies. We like to spend a lot of time outdoors, either walking, mountain hiking, riding a bike. We like to go around for short trips. And if I had to describe Slovenians, I would say an average Slovenian is a very responsible and hardworking person.
Why Mexico?
I always felt great in Latin part of the world. I like the way that people are. I like their mentality. I like the way they express their feelings, emotions. And as a teenager, I had an opportunity to work in Italy. I worked in a small market in Tarvisio where I used to sell jeans and t-shirts and sweaters and stuff, and I really felt amazingly well with Italians. So once I had a chance to visit Mexico, I realized that it's very similar to Italy, so I wanted to come here.
How did you start your life in Mexico?
Well, I actually started it already before in Slovenia because as a good Slovenian, I wanted to have a job before coming here. So I started looking for a job on internet and I saw that, well, yes, there are jobs for economists, which is my original career, but I had like zero Spanish back then, so it's very difficult to make business with zero language of the country that you're at. And I noticed that it's doable to give English classes here, that it would be a shortcut for me because it was either that or studying Spanish for quite some time to be able to express myself well in Spanish. So I decided to take a course, an online course, to get some teaching certificates, and the same company also found a job for me in Michoacan, here in Mexico.
What were your dreams back then?
Well, my dreams were dreams of an average old-fashioned girl, which were to find a job that would make me happy and, of course, to have a happy family.
How did you lose your eyesight?
It went little by little as a consequence of a disease, so I didn't lose my sight from one day to another, but it was a process.
How did you feel in the process?
Well, not very well because you're terrified. You're thinking that, well, the biggest fear was if I would completely lose my sight, which actually happened. And you can't imagine to not being able to see the faces of your loved ones, like my daughter, my husband, my family. You can't imagine that you wouldn't be able to see things around you, the colors. I couldn't imagine not to be able to read books. I love books. And you just can't imagine to have life like that. You imagine you would be in a darkness. It's horrifying, the image you have in your head, and it's a very difficult, emotionally very difficult process.
What can you see?
At this point, I can see only black and white points, like as if you imagine on a TV when it's a very bad signal. So I imagine I haven't paid my bill or something.
Did you go through depression?
Yes, of course. I have some friends also visually disabled, and all of them that I met, all of them say that they did go through that. But unfortunately, not everyone is able to come out of it. Um, some of them get stuck there because it is quite a thing to deal with this thing, but it's doable.
What pulled you out?
In my case, it was a friend, Jose Luis, that is an instructor in a library. The library that I used to go, and as I still go now and then, happens to have a braille section. So there are instructors that can teach you all kinds of things. I imagine at first, since it's a library, that they would only teach me how to read and write in braille, but no, they actually can train you for whatever thing that you would like to, as long as they know how to do it. And the first time that I was there, he unbuilt my white cane, he fixed it and he put it back. And I was amazed. I mean, how on earth can you do this without the sight? And he was moving independently without any problem in the place that we were at. He told me that he travels to different cities, that he works at different part of the city. He told me that he goes to the store, to the bank. I mean, he does everything on himself alone. And I was really, now and then I even got thoughts, oh my god, this man was born to be blind, because it's really quite impressive that he can do all this without the help of another person. So I just got an impression that if I really work hard and if I make an effort, that I could also be more independent than I was back then.
How do you see yourself?
Well, right now I see myself as everyone else. I mean, of course I can see, but it's just one of my characteristics, such as that another person is divorced, or that the other one has a family, or that the other one is, I don't know, an economist, a teacher, a doctor. I just see it as a characteristic. But at the beginning it was tough, because you feel, well, disabled tells a lot, no? Like, that you're not able of doing everything, and it makes you feel less if you don't work on it. And I felt less as a human. I'm not being able to do my things on my own, as a wife, because I couldn't do what I used to do as a wife, or as things that I suppose that I have to do as wife. And the same thing happens feeling as a mother. But then, I don't know, with the time I did learn some things. Obviously I'm still missing a lot. But I was also thinking, okay, I mean, why do I feel less? I have to make sometimes even a bigger effort as other people, so I think at least I'm equal to others. And I convinced myself, imagining that such a simple thing as going to the bathroom from the place that you're at, the sighted people just get up and automatically go to the place, and I have to make an effort. I have to get up and I have to focus to remember how to go to the bathroom, and it requires much more of me than of other people. So I believe I am equal to others.
How do people around you react to your condition?
Well, the most important thing is that my family, my immediate family, and my husband's family, they are really nice to me, and most importantly, they don't see me as a victim. I would hate it, really. And I'm super lucky that they never had these attitudes towards me. Obviously, they do help me now and then with some things that I need help with, but they never treat me as a victim. They always take me into an account whenever we talk about something, whenever we are making decisions, like everyone else. I mean, I don't feel like an alien or I don't know, some weird species with others. So I'm really thankful they treat me this way. And the people on the street, I think, well, I don't have bad experience. I think it depends what vibes you give. No, if you feel you're poor, you're lost, you're unprotected, I think people can perceive it, and then maybe they treat you differently.
How did this affect your marriage and family?
Well, it affected it a lot, because we were recently married when my problem started, and it was very difficult, because well, it's terrifying, and there were many frustrations, and we even had fights because of the frustrations. It never was a question what we feel for each other, but the moments were very frustrating and full of scares. And I wasn't able to talk about many things back then, because I was processing everything, and I wasn't able to share it with anyone. And my husband was next to me, also horrified, I imagine, and frustrated because of the same things. But and I didn't want to use white cane back then, so every time we would go out, there would be many fights, because he would have to tell me for every single step if I have to go up or down, if there's a hole, if there's a stone. And sometimes he would forget. I would be frustrated. I would get afraid if I'll fall. So it was just really bad. But with the moment that I accepted that for now my sight is the way it is, and when I accepted to use the white cane, it felt as if peace came to our house. And obviously we have our things still, like any other marriage. But I think that these circumstances made us a stronger and better couple and family.
How are your days?
My days are, well, in the mornings I prepare together with my husband food for my daughter for school, because that's what we do here in Mexico. Then I come home and I take a little bit of time for me. I always like to check my WhatsApps, because I have contacts with my mom and with my friends through it. And then I start doing things, either cleaning up, I don't know, washing the dishes, washing the clothes, whatever. And then sometimes I study something, sometimes I watch videos, sometimes I read in Braille. I do different things. And then in the afternoon, my daughter comes home and we do her homework together. And then I have to bathe her and then I put her to bed.
What can you do on your own?
Well, I could do all those things that I mentioned before on my own. I can also go alone out around here around our house. I can do this. No, I know most of the ways. And if I get lost, I just simply ask. I could also go farther, but I didn't dare to do this yet. But what I could do is I could order the taxis that we know that help us a lot. They literally take me from the door to door. So if in the case of emergency of going to some other place alone, I do have an option.
What do you need help with?
I still didn't figure out how one could wash the stains from the clothes without being able to see. For example, I need at least someone to tell me how much I owe to be able to pay my bills. I'm sure there are some tools that could help me out with this, but I don't have them. And well, to go out, it's easier for me to go with someone else for now.
Do you use any special tools?
For now, I don't have many things. I just have the tools I need to write in Braille. I have the white cane and a smartphone, but everyone has a smartphone nowadays. Just that I have an additional application that is called TalkBack, so that whatever I touch in the smartphone tells me what it is, so I could use it.
Do you like to spend time with other visually impaired people?
Well, at the beginning, I wasn't very keen on it because I felt that we would just cry on each other's shoulders and whine and feel sorry for ourselves. So I wasn't very motivated to meet them. But when I did, I was really amazed, surprised, and inspired because I have a friend that is a physiotherapist, another one is a lawyer and a musician, and Jose Luis is an instructor. And then I have a friend that goes mountain hiking, another one that runs marathons, so it's quite inspiring to hang out with them.
What are your dreams now?
Well, my dreams are the same, to find a job that would make me happy. I actually started giving English classes again and also recording for YouTube that also makes me happy. And like before, to have a happy family.